Hello, everybody. Episode 1 to the JL Journey. I'm Jay.
And I'm Mel.
And we are going to talk today about how we met. Okay. So where should I start?
That night, 6 months ago.
We met at a bar.
Typical.
Right? Right.
I mean, it's New Orleans. Where else would you meet?
That is true. That is true.
But unexpectedly, that's the key.
Yeah. And I'm happy we did meet in the wild. You know, everybody would ask me, Jason, why you ain't met nobody? Or, Jason, why don't you try the online stuff? And I'm just like, I still prefer to meet people in the wild.
In the wild?
Like you did in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So we met, or before the bar. We met, or not before the bar. My evening was, I was at a bar with a bunch of other people watching the Bucks play, because I'm from Milwaukee, and I was excited that we are now going to enter the NBA Finals. It was a Thursday evening, right? It was a Thursday evening. Went to the bar, had a good time. That's where I met one of her friends.
From LA.
Right. So that's how the connection started. So her friend is a friend of the spouse of one of my friends. Could you follow that?
Could you follow that?
Her friend is a friend to the spouse of one of my friends. All right. So that's the connection. So at least at the beginning, we say we kind of knew each other weren't like serial killers. Right? Yeah. So then after we watch the game, we go to another spot and we're waiting for you and your other friend to show up.
You're waiting for us to.
But we actually went to another spot before we saw you.
Right, because we were dragging our feet. We had been drinking all day, and, we were trying to get ourselves together. We didn't know if we were going out that night. There was a lot going on. I didn't even want to go, because it was my friend's birthday. And I didn't want to go out that night. I was like, I don't really feel like being bothered. But I had to play wingman to my friend. So I was like, girl, I got you. Because I'm a great friend. I was like, let's go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a great friend until I got there and I got out of the car and locked eyes with Jason.
Right, she saw all this snoopiness. It's cool, though. Because you know what today is. It's J5 anyway, right?
Oh, gosh.
It's J5 anyway. All right. Slight technical difficulties. Slight technical difficulties. But, yes, I was shouting out J5 because it's Wednesday, January the 5th. 111 years. Boom. And then we were talking about, see, it was so good. This is why I keep recording. Okay. So then we were talking about, I was just starting my night.
Right.
Okay. So we met at a bar. Well, I was at a bar with a friend. And I don't know if I said this already, but I'll repeat it. That is where this first location I was at was where I met her friend. Okay, so the connection is one of her best friends is friends with one of my friend's spouses. Right?
Did y'all get that?
Right? Did y'all follow that? One of her best friends is the friend to one of my friend's spouses. Okay? So, like we said, we kind of knew each other weren't serial killers because our friends are like a Venn diagram. They overlapped.
They did.
It's a math term. Okay, so we went there, and then before you showed up, we actually went to another spot as well, because we actually met at our third spot that evening.
Right.
And what were you doing earlier in the evening?
I mean, we were in New Orleans. We were eating crawfish and drinking.
Turning up.
Okay.
Doing what they do in New Orleans.
New Orleans finest.
Facts.
Type of hangout.
Facts. Eating and drinking.
Eating and drinking.
Literally what New Orleans is about, respectfully and with love, and I love it. So we're not dissing it, right? Eating and drinking. Okay, so then when she gets out the Uber at this third place for me, I see her and I'm like, oh, that's your friend? In my head. Because, I can't be seen being that thirsty. But I was like, oh, so that's her. And what got my attention immediately was the hair. I know, right? And you can't see it now, but she's sitting on it. I was like, oh, that's your friend. Okay, yes. But even then, I felt like I was still playing it cool. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. Okay, now I know what I want to ask you. Okay, so you can jump in, and then I have a question for you.
Okay.
Give your perspective up until this point.
No, I think we had the same perspective because I didn't even want to be there, so I wasn't even paying attention to him. But when I'm not paying attention to him, but I wasn't paying attention to anyone. I was just like, let's go. I need another drink so I can keep this party going. And then I got out and I was like, okay, a little something here. All right.
She saw the loopiness.
Okay. So we go into the bar, we sit down at a table, all of the homies go get drinks. We lock eyes and just we're in this deep conversation. They all, like, literally. Immediately. And all the homies were like, so we don't want to interrupt your date, but here are your drinks. Because they were like, I thought we were all hanging out. Seems like you guys are having your own personal thing.
Like 10 minutes into meeting each other.
Right.
What made it so we started talking? I felt like, knowing me, I would have been like, hey, my name is Jason. Nice to meet you. And I don't know why we started, like why we actually sat down and started talking.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just an introduction. So tell me about yourself. Like, oh, I'm Lauren, I'm Jason. What do you do? And then that conversation evolved from there. I don't think it was anything specific, but I just think that once we did start talking, it was like immediate next thing. And it wasn't like, you're asking questions. It was just like literally, oh, okay, that's interesting. And that's where it went from there.
Yeah.
And we were just in it. Like we were in it like no one else was in that bar. It was literally just us two.
Yeah.
And so our friends went and played darts because they were like, we don't want to interrupt your flow.
So then after the dart playing, my friends, I think they left.
Yeah.
And then I kicked it with you and your friends from LA. And we went to Frenchman Street.
We did.
I forget what spot we were at.
The Maison.
Oh, you remember?
I remember because it was a good night.
There you go. So we go to Maison, band is playing, you know how I go on Frenchman Street, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, it's not too crowded. It's actually not crowded in there at all, right? So the homie go get the drinks, and like, remember, I'm not much of a drinker. But I think I took one, just to be cordial or whatever. And then...
Not only is he not much of a drinker, but we were drinking tequila.
Oh. Yeah. That don't even sound good. Oh my God, I'm sick now just thinking about it. So then, okay, so here's what I remember. You're having an amazing...
This is when it gets a little dicey between the two of us and what happened.
Right.
Please.
So then here's what I remember. You're having an amazing time.
I was having a great time.
Right. And fellas, like, when a woman is feeling you. You know when a woman is feeling you. So what she starts to do is she's dancing, and I'm standing here with my drink. She proceeds to back up on me.
Look, I'm from LA. I grew up in the 90s. Uncle Luke was the thing, okay?
Look, I ain't tripping. Back it up. I already said what you sitting on anyway was one of the things that attracted me to you. So I'm like, yes, keep it coming. Come this way. So she's backing it up on me, and she dancing, doing her thing, and I'm chilling. I'm doing my little 2 steps over my drink. Too cool for school.
Always too cool for school.
And then or I don't know if it was then, but I also remember, and this is on Frenchman Street, I remember her hands on the ground.
First of all, again, this is where it gets
like
dicey.
She was that.
First of all,
having that much fun.
First of all, it's COVID. So that absolutely did not happen because there are lots of germs down there. I'm already in a germ-infested place.
Yeah.
So I'm already nervous. That would never happen. Put your hands on your knees and you... Come on. You know it.
I felt like your hands were on the ground.
Not on the ground.
My reality is my truth. So then... Okay. So she is having a good time.
We're all having a good time. I've had some drinks now. I'm ready. And we had such great conversation. So I was like, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. And then she proceeded to say, do you want to tell them what you said?
No, go ahead.
She was like, I manifested you.
Say it a little louder.
I manifested you. And I'm like,
what I tell you I'm busy doing? Manifesting greatness, okay? So I did say that because...
She saw greatness.
You're right. I did. So again, we're on this journey coming off of other situations. And, I had really been working on myself. I had been really thinking about what I wanted to do next, how I wanted to do it. I was in the midst of looking for another job, and just coming off of another situation that I had let go a couple of months before. And so really when I met Jay, I was not looking to meet him. And so I knew in that moment that it was right and that it fit and that it was just a good thing, a great thing.
Yeah.
And so I did tell him that.
Yeah.
I held his face. Okay. So let's be clear. There was also some tequila sprinkled in there.
She was a little saucy.
I was a lot saucy.
Sauced.
I was saucy. I had his face in my hands, and I was like, I manifested you. Like, I knew this was right, and I wanted him to know that in that moment, and so I did.
Yeah. And to your point, though, my past as well in ending, like solidifying ending relationships and, not really in the space of looking for nobody, but just like, you brought up recently that, especially dating now at our age, we're in our 40s, you mentioned the other day that it was just refreshing that it was a person you were talking to that had some sense.
Right.
And I understand exactly what she meant when she said that. It's like, okay, like somebody who can hold a conversation but knows what they want, but also understands their flaws and like they're trying to be better.
Right.
And just being deliberate about life and just trying to do the right thing and, acknowledging that one, you're not always perfect but yeah, some sense. So when you said that the other day, that really resonated. I was like, that's the word.
And I think that, when you're looking for someone, maybe you shouldn't look, because I think we had a better conversation and we had just really good dialogue because we didn't think anything was coming out of this. We thought we were just chit-chatting. But we actually had a deeper conversation. Like, it really was like our first date because we had a deeper conversation because we were just chitting and chatting.
That part.
Yeah. And so I loved our conversation, and I thought it was, it was the right time and the right place. And in that moment, I knew, like, okay.
She knew so much that she kissed me in the mouth. Did you hear it? She knew so much that she kissed me in the mouth.
So you're going to repeat that?
I mean, I just want to make sure. She knew so much.
Oh, my God. We don't need 3 times. Okay, so look, ladies, all right? Sometimes when you're manifesting and you are feeling good about a situation, go for what you know. Yes.
You miss all the shots she don't take.
I did pucker up, but let me tell you what. I might have gone 90. He came that extra 10. Okay?
I did.
Okay. Thank you.
I did. I ain't gonna front.
And mind you, it's COVID. That was so ridiculous.
A whole damn pandemic.
A whole pandemic.
We kissing in the mouth in a bar.
In the mouth. In the bar.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yes. So that was Maison. And then after Maison, her friends had the bright idea, because mind you, none of her friends live in New Orleans. They had the bright idea that they want to walk to Cafe Du Monde for beignets. Now, I don't know if you know anything about the climate in New Orleans
in July.
It's 100 degrees outside and 100 degrees humidity. And I'm sweating, like sweating.
The funny part is, now that I know him now, I didn't know him then, he does not like to sweat.
Dude.
And so the fact that not only did we walk there from Frenchmen Street, it's a little bit of a walk if you don't know New Orleans.
You know, it's a good joint. Like, it's not horribly long, but it's just like
it's a little, you know, a little around the corner.
I was like, my car's over here.
And we were like, no, because see, you know, we're curly hair girls, and we were like, the humidity is great. Our skin is beautiful. We want to be out in the. He was like, well, let's go then. Let's hurry up.
Yep. And we get to Cafe Du Monde, and Cafe Du
they're
Monde is closed. Why? Because it's a pandemic.
Because it's a pandemic. Mind you, that's not our fault. Cafe Du Monde is open 24 hours.
Yes.
Normally,
yes. The one in the quarter is open 24 hours. But not since the pandemic. And I didn't know that either, because if you live here, you don't really be in a quarter like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, I'm not really a sweets person anyway. And I'm just like, none of this is what I want to do. Walking in the heat, eating like pastries. But there's this woman who I'm interested in.
So he marched his little butt all the way there.
And then when we got there, I was
he was so
pissed that it was closed, because I was like, now we got to walk back to my car, which was where we just came from.
But past where we just came from. Not only was it was past,
but it was, you know, had y'all listen to me from jump.
But the songs you all sang.
Oh yeah, we were singing no more shopping sprees, no more late night girls.
We don't need to repeat. Yelling all the way down.
Sure was.
The street.
Sure was. The homie had the songs going.
We did. And we had a good time.
A little ghetto karaoke.
We did definitely had a ghetto karaoke.
Yeah. And then after Cafe Du Monde was closed, like, wah, night is over. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take you back to wherever you're staying. So her and her friend
staying in Airbnb.
So then I take them back to their Airbnb, and the friend hops out the car immediately.
She's like, I'm done being on this date with y'all.
I was like, damn, did I do something?
So let me give you a little backstory. Again, I was supposed to be hanging out with my friend, not meeting my future, right? So she's like, look, date on. Have a good time, but I'm going to bed. So she hops out the car, and we still didn't end it there, I don't think. We kicked it?
No, I think we sat there for a little bit.
We sat there for a minute.
We sat there for a little bit talking.
Like, we didn't just have a 2-hour conversation at the bar.
Right.
And sang all the way down the road. We still needed some more time. So that, again, is what really made me feel like, okay, this is a thing.
This is working? This is working for you?
This is definitely working for me.
And it was, and the next day, or I guess that morning, is 4th of July. So.
Right.
And then we hooked up on, like, later in the evening on 4th of July.
Right.
After she was done with her friends and I was done with my people. Because, you know, I can't really, like, you know, then be like, let's hang out tomorrow. You know, you got to wait a little bit.
I mean, he didn't have to, but whatever. But what I will say is we've been inseparable ever since.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and like we said, we're only like 6 months into this, and we're still learning something new about each other all the time.
Of course.
So, but yeah, we just thought we'd share with you about the first time we met. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button about the second episode. Remember, every Wednesday. And why don't you let us know in the comments, you know, just a little bit about how you met your partner, or how you want to meet your partner, or are you on the apps or not, or do you prefer to meet people in the wild? Yeah. Just talk to us. We'll hook you back. You got anything else you want to share?
No.
All right. Bye.
Bye.